Okay, we're together again for another reading, unless you've never been here before, in which case, welcome. Today, we're doing a future self reading. We're going to get information from your future self. We will look into what's changing in your future, what might be remaining the same, what your future self is grateful to you for, advice from your future self, and a message they want to leave you with at this time. So, what can a version of future you tell you? How can our future selves lift our spirits, bring hope in when it sometimes feels lost, and give us a glimpse into the unknown? So let's find out. We have 3 groups to choose from today. There could be messages for you in multiple groups if you are drawn to more than one. So let me show you your options. For group 1, we have rutilated quartz, and we are using the gold foil tarot. For group 2, we have Amazonite, and we are using the Pause Tarot. For group 3, we have Pyrite, and we are using the Golden Thread Tarot. Okay, take all the time you need to choose your group. I am going to jump right in, so meet me in your reading when you're ready. Hi, group 1. You chose the rutilated quartz and the gold foil tarot. Welcome to your reading. We're doing a future self reading today, and I will let you know what we are looking at as I shuffle these cards. So we're tuning into your future self today, and we're going to get some information for you about what is coming in and changing for the better. What might be staying the same, what your future self is grateful to you for, what advice your future self wants to give you now, and finally, what message does your future self want to leave you with? So let's take a look. So for group 1, what does group 1's future self want to say about what is coming into their life and changing for the better? We have the Knight of Wands. This one dropped. We have the Knight of Cups. Okay, and then the Queen of Wands. Actually, should we do one more? And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, what might be staying the same for group 1 in the future? And keep in mind too, you can select a time frame. I should have said that in the beginning. You can say what are things going to look like in so and so years, or you can just let this reading play out and know that it's some point in the future. I don't like to do timing in readings personally, but if you want to choose the time, you are more than welcome to do that. So what might be staying the same? 10 of Cups. You might notice things look suddenly a little different. It's because I dropped all of the cards, and so I had to pick them up, and I didn't want you to have to watch that, just FYI. So let me keep going. The Magician. Okay, let's see what these are. The 6 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. Okay, I was going to start on the left with what is coming in and changing for the better, but I actually want to start with the right about what might be staying the same, and then we'll move over here to the left. So when we look at what might be staying the same at this future point in your life, you know, I'm drawn to the 2 of Swords first. And so you could be an indecisive person. If that's the case, you are not suddenly going to become a decisive person in this amount of time. But it could be that you're also just indecisive in certain areas of life. And that could continue to be the same, even though some things, you may have more decisiveness in certain areas, or some things will just sort of work out so you don't need to keep thinking about them anymore. But with this 2 of Swords is definitely making me think that there's an indecision at play here that is currently in your life and will continue in some way. And so that might be, not the first thing you want to hear because it's maybe not the most positive, but it's also not the worst thing in the world. It just might be a part of your nature to be a little bit indecisive, or whatever area of life that you tend to flip-flop or not be sure about, or a certain area of life. It could continue where you do still sometimes struggle to know exactly what to do. But I don't think that is overall in every area of your life, because these other cards, especially the Magician, which can be more decisive, makes me think that in some ways you will, and this is what's also staying the same, but like in some ways you may be decisive, in some ways you won't. But there's going to be an indecision that follows you, maybe not forever, but at whatever point we're kind of looking at here. And so if you're hoping that like you're going to have everything figured out and it's all going to make perfect sense, that's probably not going to be 100% the case, even though some things are obviously going to be different. The Magician and the Six of Wands are really making me think that whatever you are currently good at, not only will you continue to be good at, which makes sense, doesn't it? But that you're probably going to get better and better at it. And so, yes, it would remain the same, but it improves as well. And not only does it improve, but the things that you're good at you will be given accolades for them. You will be recognized for the things that you are good at. And so the things that you are good at now, whether or not people are recognizing that, they will either continue to recognize it, or you will get the recognition you always should have gotten for being good at these things. And this can be anything. It can be that you are good at your job, that you are good at conflict resolution, that you are good at public speaking or cooking, or literally anything. So whatever you're good at, don't worry. You are going to get the recognition that you deserve, and you will continue to be good at what you're good at. So if there has been any fear around, like, for example, like you're amazing at your job, but you're really worried that you're going to lose your job and like it's going to affect you because that's the only place people value you or something, you don't need to worry about that. I mean, if it is your job and you do lose your job, basically something here is like staying the same, where what you're good at, even if like something ends, something else will begin that's like the same or better. So if there's something you've been worried about around what you are good at, you can release some of that worry because things look really good there. I also think that, I don't know if you already use your skills to help other people in some way, or you teach other people what you know. But if you are doing that, you will continue to do that. And I think on a bigger scale, as well as if you don't already do that, you might find yourself doing that. But like, because it's in this energy of staying the same, it's something that you already do. So something that you're already good at, you're already learning, you're already doing, is just going to be, is going to continue or be enhanced. And it's something that you seem to enjoy. And the Ten of Cups, with the Ten of Cups, such a good and happy and abundant card. So in the area of your life, or multiple areas of your life where you do feel happiness or joy or abundance, even if like, maybe you're thinking, well, I don't feel that. Like if you are someone who is depressed right now or feeling hopeless or anything like that, and you can't find any joy in life, if you weren't in the state of mind, you may realize like there are parts of your life that are really abundant. Like either you have a really wonderful family, or you have some area of your life that provides security, or like it's better than other people's in some way. Some area of your life is already pretty abundant and pretty happy, whether you are in tune with that right now or not. But basically that's going to continue. So it's not like just because you're going to get some other stuff in your life that it's going to end something good. And I do think for some of you, you might be worried about that. Like, for example, you might think, well, I've always wanted to live in so-and-so country, but if I do that, I'm going to lose this thing that I have in my current residence. But it's like, you're not going to. whatever you seem to be like, some of you seem to be like afraid you're going to lose out on good things if you move forward, or if you get other things, or if you pursue other things, but you're not. There's an abundance energy that stays with you. And overall, this energy that of the things staying the same, or staying the same but evolving in your life, are very, very positive. The only one that doesn't look 100% positive is this Two of Swords. And the only thing that's coming to mind when I look at it is indecision and indecisiveness. And so that may be a struggle for you in the future as well as right now. But I think that you're going to be okay no matter what. It's just some of us are just really indecisive people. And if that is something you identify with and you don't want to be like that, you can certainly work on it. In readings, the energy is never... it's never really set in stone. It's basically what we read when we do readings is sort of just the current energies and the current flow and how things currently are looking, past, present, or future. But it can always change. It is always in your hands to change. And so if you ever encounter something in a reading that you don't like, so first of all, a reading should overall feel relatively good. It should feel like true for you. It should feel relatively positive. If you ever feel like really icky when receiving a reading from anyone, that's a bad sign, just FYI. But if a reading is flowing for you, but you don't like something, you're like, oh, that is true, but I don't like it. This is just my reminder to you that you can change it. Okay. So that's all I want to say about that. But let's go ahead and look over here at what is coming in and changing for the better. Okay, well, I want to start with the Ace of Pentacles, because also looking at this shiny gold coin, and we have this gold foil tarot, and you chose this golden rutilated quartz, I do think a lot of you are going to see an increase in your finances. Whether or not you feel you need that, I think probably most of us would like more security. And even if you have enough, who doesn't want a little bit more, I mean, other than the billionaires. If you're a billionaire listening to this, first of all, I'm surprised, but also you should be helping more people. But anyway, I think that this really speaks to your finances improving in the future. Definitely. And it does seem to be in a very happy way, but there is a lot of creative energy here. And also, I mean, the wands, we've got the Knight and the Queen. The wands can be about work and career and your work in the world, whereas pentacles are the money, but they can be related because usually we get money from our career, correct? Basically, you're definitely going to see an improvement in your finances. For many of you, this is going to be related to what you do for work, whether this is the same or it changes. And I think for a lot of you, what you are doing for work will change. It may or may not be drastic. So it could be that you're doing something entirely different. Like for some of you, I see you going from kind of a drab office job that pays the bills, and then moving into something really creative with these wands cards, something that's more you, more authentic to you, that's more creative or maybe even artistic, or just more you than what you've been doing in the past. Or if you're already doing something authentically you, something creative, something that you love and feel passion for, there's more money coming. So this is the start of, the aces are often the beginning. And so this ace is the beginning of money in some way. So either the beginning of being paid what you're worth finally, or having, if you've never been able to save money before, now you're able to save money. Or if you've never been able to make money from something you love, this is the beginning of making money from something you love. So this is a really positive sign for money and safety and security, and also getting to enjoy what you do that brings the money in, and feeling fulfilled with this Nine of Cups and having plenty, not only having plenty for yourself and feeling sort of satisfied with what you have, but being able to share with other people, whether that is financially or in another way, because now that you feel you have enough or more, you feel more able to provide and share and share in the wealth of whatever wealth would mean to you other than money too. And the Nine of Cups, you know, other than having like plenty and plenty to share and wanting to share and like being able to display all that you have and not having to hide anything, is also, because it's a Cups card, there's a lot of emotional fulfillment here. So it's not only feeling like this sigh of relief for those of you who haven't had enough and will have enough, but it's also just feeling like emotionally healthier and well, like you have enough to share emotionally. Your cups are filled. You're no longer drained. Like there's so much abundant energy here of being able to live your life in a really authentic way. So if you haven't been able to do that yet, that is coming. And if you've been doing that, but you're still feeling some lack, guess what? Like things are going to start panning out at this future time. And so what your future self is really trying to tell you is, don't give up. And also like what you see for your future is real and it really can happen. There's a reason that you want certain things. And we're all so unique and so different that whatever you want in life, in your career life or your hobbies or just your life in general or how you express yourself in the world, that's not only possible for you, it's likely to happen because this is what your future self is telling you is going to come in and change for the better. But also, just being really in touch with who you really are and feeling fearless to share that with the world, because what the world really needs sometimes is more people willing to truly be themselves and not try to copy everybody else or like do the thing you're supposed to do in order to make money. I think that this group is really going to find a great deal of fulfillment and satisfaction in living your truth, and this will bring financial abundance, emotional wellness, and a feeling of being really true to yourself in a way that like it changes things in your life that nothing else can. It's like living truthfully as yourself and putting things that are you out into the world is an energy that can't be replicated in any other way, is like what's kind of coming through. And so it feels to me like there's been something you've been wanting to experience. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of a certain kind of fulfillment, a certain kind of feeling out in the world. Like there's a feeling, and you may think like, okay, what I really want is money, or what I really want is like a job that doesn't make me miserable, or what I want is a relationship. It could be something like that, but really there's an underlying current in these things that you're wanting where it's actually what you want for some of you is to live truthfully as yourself. And then all these things will sort of fall into place once you are, because it's, how do I say this? It's like the living as yourself as authentically as you possibly can is going to create abundance for you, and it's going to create circumstances that will feel almost magical in nature. Like things are going to fall in line, like puzzle pieces coming together without you having to do it. All you have to do is authentically be yourself. And I don't want to dive too much into that because we are going to look at advice, but there is something here about really being in tune with your differences, your unique way of being, expressing yourself, of first I'm hearing coloring within the lines, but I'm seeing someone color outside of the lines. So I don't know. There's just a uniqueness here with you that needs to be like sorted out and expressed, and be unafraid to allow yourself to just be in the world as you are. And if you've never been accepted as you are, well, it's time to change that around, and you're going to be well rewarded for it. I promise. Let's look and see what your future self is grateful to you for, what advice your future self wants to give you, and then we will do one more question after that. So let's take a look. So for group one, what is their future self grateful to them for? The Lovers, but I need to cover this nudity. Oops. Oh my God. Okay. What else is group one's future self grateful for? The Eight of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the 8 of Pentacles. Interesting how we have the Lovers and the 2 of Cups and then 2 8s. Okay, so what advice does Group 1's future self want to give them now? The 7 of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Hierophant and Justice. And look how similar these look. And all of these figures are wearing these like red cloaks. Interesting. Okay, well, the first thing that your future self is grateful to you for, I see this 8 of Pentacles, and I think that your future self wants to tell you how deeply grateful they are for all the work that you've done. Look at all the work this person has put in. And so, yes, this could be in career, but it can be in any area of life. Some of you have done a lot to improve yourself. Some of you have done a lot to learn a skill, or you've put in a lot of time into something in order to see what you might be able to get out of it. Whatever you have put your heart and soul into, whatever you've put a lot of time and energy and work into, whatever you've spent the time to learn, even when it felt like it didn't produce results, your future self is really grateful, because if the results haven't come yet, they are going to come, and it's because of the work you've done. And so while sometimes it can seem like this never-ending process where nothing is coming out of it, it will. And that's why your future self is so grateful to you, because you wouldn't be where you are, where you're going, without everything you've done so far. And it might feel unfair sometimes that you're still waiting on results or still waiting on rewards or things to come into your life, but they will. And what you've done is not going unnoticed. And the way that, in these cards, some of them have this like circular pattern in the background, but it's around this figure's head. And so it's making me think, for some of you, there's a spiritual enlightenment coming, somehow you are being released in the future from things that have been limiting you, limiting beliefs, limiting patterns, limiting ways of being, negativity, having to focus on the physical when you've wanted to expand more spiritually or emotionally. That could be coming, and because that is coming, it is coming, and because it is. And here, how do I say this better? It is coming, and it's coming because of the work you've done, okay? And again, we see this circular pattern here in the 8 of Wands, but we can see it. It's like now it's not being obscured. So you see how, we can see this coming out from this person's head, but the head obscures the center of the circle, but now the center is visible. And so this points to, again, somehow, some of you are having a spiritual awakening, an enlightenment that is coming, a clarity, if it's not a spiritual thing, because I know that's not for everybody. Some people don't even want something like that or even know what it is. That's fine. This is clarity that's coming, and the 8 of Wands is quick, and it's a positive quickness. And we also chose cards about what your future self is grateful for. So I think your future self, you in the future, whether that is 6 months from now or 6 years from now or whatever it is, has clarity in some part of their life, in some part of your life. So in some place that you have lacked clarity, you have been wanting clarity, you've been working really hard to get it, it's going to come, and it's going to be very sudden, very quick, and the clarity will be abundant, and it will have a positive effect on your life. Absolutely. So, sometimes the 2 of Cups can actually be about you and your higher self. And so this is making me think that for some of you, this is about you and your future self, or you and your past self, or your past self and your future self. You have a relationship with another part of yourself, either throughout time or in another way, that is really, really positive. And if you feel that that's not true, this is coming. But basically, your future self is grateful. This is honestly just your future self telling you, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, whether you did it for me or for you or for whatever reason you did it. I'm grateful. And I think your future self feels very, very connected to your present self, whether or not you feel connected to your future self. There's a connection here. And for some of you, your future self is also really grateful that for some of you, you've been very selective when it comes to relationships, romantic or otherwise. And whether that's because you've had some bad situations where you weren't particular enough and you learned from those, or you've always been very quote unquote picky. There's something about you being very selective, particular, and picky. And whether you have developed that over time or you have always been that way or you were just beginning to be that way, your future self is grateful for you for that, because this impacts your future in really positive ways, because you are going to bring people into your life that are positive, good for you, healthy, stable, secure, reliable, wonderful people who are aligned with you, aligned with your values and the things that you want in life, and are aligned with long-term commitment. So you may already have done some of this work where you have brought people into your life that you want for the long term, and your future self is grateful for that, because if there are people already in existence in your life that are people that you are committed to, whether it's romantically or not, and people that you feel on the same level with, those relationships will continue into the future and only get richer, deeper, and more complex in a positive and loving way. And if you have felt alone and you have felt like you haven't had quality people in your life, continue to be picky or start being picky and selective, even if it feels hard, because sometimes when we're lonely, we make choices we don't feel good about later. And so I think your future self is also encouraging you to ensure that you're not giving the time of day to people who don't deserve it. It doesn't even have to be that they're bad people. It's just that there are people that you're kind of suspecting don't belong in your life, or you don't really get much out of it. It's that kind of thing of being really selective and really picky, no matter the present consequences, because in the future, the consequences are going to be positive, and your future self is really, really grateful to you for being selective now. So I want to look at what advice does your future self want to give you now? Okay. So the main message coming through to start with, well, I want to point out again, all of these figures are wearing these long red cloaks and gold crowns, and assorted accoutrements. And then we have this 7 of Cups, which could at first glance seem out of place when all of these look so similar. But really, what I think your future self is trying to tell you is this. And I think this comes back to indecisiveness a little bit for you. So basically, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Maybe I'll give metaphors. So it's okay, you're at a car dealership and there's 7 different cars you could drive if you're really into cars, and there's the blue convertible, and then the white electric car. I don't know. There's all these different cars. Okay. And you're which one do I pick? I don't know which one I want. I like them all for different reasons. But ultimately you could pick any of them and it's still going to sort of work out for you in a similar way. So you could drive away from this dealership with any of these cars, and you're still going to end up having a sort of similar experience. The key here is in not choosing something because other people want you to choose it. So, yes, you could go a more traditional route with the Hierophant. You could choose the car that is more safe and more secure and has been around for a longer time. And so there's, maybe a more reliable history and good customer service. And the more traditional route. But still, don't pick something so it's like, oh, I'm going to pick the traditional car. And my friend wants me to pick the white one, but I am drawn to the gold one. But my friend says, why would you choose gold? It's going to be flashy and it costs a little bit more. Don't listen to your friend. You can pick the traditional route. And again, we're not really talking about cars here. We're talking about like choosing a new career or choosing a relationship or whatever you still want in your life that you're trying to figure out. Apply this metaphor to that, but you can go the traditional route and it can work out for you. You can also choose the route that feels more fair and balanced and takes everyone into account. So if you have if you're buying a car and you have a spouse and 2 kids and a pet, and you're like, okay, well, I kind of want the convertible, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping everyone in mind here. And maybe I'll get I don't want the minivan, but I'll get the SUV, so you can also choose based on what is helpful for everyone involved without, again, choosing what they want necessarily, because something lies within your hands here and something is more about your life than it is a family car. And the King of Wands points out to me yet again, there is a strong need for you to be extremely authentic to yourself, to make choices moving forward that feel very authentically you. That is something that you really want in the moment, and you can always change your mind because we change as people, and that's perfectly okay. Something might be right for you now, something else might be right for you later, and that's okay. You don't have to pick something now and stick with it for the rest of your life unless it does feel right. In whatever area of your life where you are hoping things are going to change or work out, if you are wanting to choose a new career, if you related to the spiritual enlightenment messages and you have been working towards something like this, where you have been reading books and meditating and doing things to release your limitations or manifest or whatever in this area you relate to, this is another indication that you can get there no matter which path you choose. You can choose any one of these 7 paths. You can choose multiple paths. You can try them all out. But what is the advice here is that you choose what feels most authentic to you in this moment. Yes, you can keep other things in mind, okay? There's other parts of life. All these things go together. But what works the best right now? What are you most drawn to right now that would work for you right now? Move toward that. And then if that doesn't work, or if you need to go further or learn more, then choose the next thing. But basically, you can't mess up. That's what they're trying to say to you. You can't mess this up. You're going to end up in these red robes, holding court in some way, being a leader in some part of your life. And honestly, I think you're going to be able to lead other people in a way where either you know the most about something and you're able to present it to people in a way that they can pay attention to in a new way. You may, you're going to be learning something through this process that then is going to be given to others, because look at you in this role. Everybody is looking at you. And I'm not saying that if you're deathly afraid of public speaking, suddenly you're going to be a public speaker. No, but in some part of your life, you are going to become a leader and you're going to show other people the way, and you're going to do it in a way that's really authentic and different from the norm. Even if you end up in sort of a traditional path, even if you're doing something many, many other people have done, you have a different way of doing it or a different kind of charisma or something. And so I think your future self is also just letting you know that you're going to get here. And if you're afraid that you're not going to get here, you need to figure it all out yourself. That's not true, actually. And what is true is that all you have to do is take steps forward, move, and try things. And it can be scary, but there's a lot of people here who are indecisive. I can relate to that. But you've got to just choose something, okay? You can change your mind. That's the thing. Your future self is reminding you, you can always change your mind. You can course correct. No matter what you do, you're going to end up where you're meant to end up. You can't mess this up. You just I don't think you can. Like, that's what I'm getting. So let's get a final message that your future self wants to leave you with today. Okay, so we have teach and share, instill, instruct, educate. Air, the number 8, spider. And finally, sun, happiness and well-being. Well, these are Buddhists, but look at all this red again, okay? I want to show you. Okay, look, all these figures with these red cloths draped upon them, okay? Red is also the color of the root chakra, which is about safety and security and groundedness. So if you've been worried about those things, rest assured that they are coming in the future. But also, like I said, talking about you being sort of a leader. Here we have all these little kids, and then this older person who is able to teach and instill and share and educate these people who are earlier on their path. So yes, it could definitely be spiritual, like we talked about, because here we have Buddhists, right? But it does not have to be. It could be anything. And whatever it is that you are good at or that you have learned, you are potentially really going to be helping other people on their path in this thing. And if that's something you really, really don't want to do, again, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but you might find yourself naturally in a position where people are learning from you, whether or not you are in a teaching role. There are going to be people who even just learn from observing you. Do you know what I mean? Your energy will change other people. And so there's just another indication of that. How interesting that we have so much of this. And then we have this spider card again. So 8 can be the number of abundance. So this tells me yet again that things are going to become more abundant for you, not only financially, but in other ways. And I think a lot of you are creative types, whether that is art or something else. There's all this fiery, creative energy. And look, we have this weaving and these colored pencils and paint, and the spider has woven this beautiful web. So I think a lot of you are really, really creative. And whether or not you identify with being a creative person, I think that you are going to, in the future, be very in tune with your creativity, and your creativity is going to be tied sort of hand in hand with your abundance, and not to put pressure on you, but you're just going to find that that's naturally what seems to happen, and that things that haven't made sense, like, if we look at this loom and these threads are sort of set up for the weaving, they look a lot like this spider web. Yeah, the design's a little different, but it makes me think that, and the spider has woven this web to catch something. The spider's still waiting, and this is still waiting to be something. But in the future, what you've been waiting to see, waiting to catch, waiting to bring into your life, or waiting to even understand, is going to start to become clear. The weaving is going to start to show you the truth of things. So where you have been unclear, where you have felt like everything before you is a great expanse of unknown, and nobody really likes the unknown, or most of us don't, that's going to start to get filled in and make a lot more sense. The things that haven't really made sense, the things that you've been waiting to happen in your life, waiting to understand, waiting for in general, things are going to be a lot more clear and make a lot more sense. And where you've been stuck in an in-between state, that's all going to change. Where you have felt kind of like you're not part of this or part of that, or you don't know if you should do this or that, this sort of in-between state is going to become a lot clearer. It's like we have day and we have night, but not dusk and not dawn, not those in-between transitory states. This is late enough at night that we can see all of these shining bright stars. And this is, the sun shining without clouds. So I think that there, again, is just going to be so much clarity for you. Things are going to make sense. You're going to feel like you have your place. You're going to feel like you belong. Everything is just going to make a lot more sense. And you know, how lucky that you get to end on happiness and well-being, to live a life that feels happy and well and healthy. And I really don't think I have anything else to say, Group 1. I think this looks really, really positive, and I hope that it has given you some hope. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you feel like it. It always brightens my day to hear from anyone watching. Don't hesitate to leave a comment if you want to. Regardless, I am grateful that you spent this time with me, and I hope you have a great week. Bye. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Amazonite and the Pause Tarot. Welcome to your reading. We're doing a future self reading today, and I will remind you what we're looking at today as I shuffle these cards. Please bear with me while I do a really beautiful, gorgeous shuffle of these cards because they're really easy to shuffle, as you'll see. So, we're going to tune into your future self and get information about what is coming into your life and changing for the better in the future, what might be staying the same at that time, what your future self is grateful to you for. Oh, this is going even better than I thought it would. What advice your future self wants to give you at this time, and what message your future self wants to leave you with. You are welcome to choose like a future time, like 5 years from now, 6 months from now, whatever, if that is helpful for you. I don't do timing readings, but you are welcome to choose a time that you're looking for, and I will just do the reading. So let's get started. So for Group 2, what does Group 2's future self want to tell them about what is coming in and changing for the better in the future? The Three of Swords, the Six of Wands, the World, and the Four of Cups. And for Group 2, what might be staying the same at this time in the future? The Seven of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Sun, okay, I dropped this and had to retrieve it. The Nine of Swords. Okay. You know, I did this with Group 1. I think I'm going to do it with you too. I should have asked what's staying the same first because it's what I want to read first, and then we'll look at what is changing for the better. So starting with what might be staying the same. And I do want to say that just because something is staying the same at this future point does not mean it will stay the same forever. And as I said with Group 1, you are always able to change anything. If you relate to any of this and you just are like, no, like I don't want that to still be the same, you always have the capability to change things. This is just me reading the current energies and how they are looking in the future and what information is coming through. Okay. So we have positive and less positive about things staying the same. So let's start with what's a little bit less positive. So with the Nine of Swords here, there's a hair. This can be about anxiety. So if you, and oftentimes the Nine of Swords can be really negative. This one doesn't have that same vibe to it, but some of you definitely experience anxiety as sort of an ongoing state or like an ongoing, it's always kind of like it's coming and going. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you're like, I have anxiety as a person. So at this point in the future, you know, a week from now, a year from now, whatever time frame we're sort of looking at, you might still be experiencing some anxiety. Okay. I just want to say that might be the case. It doesn't look debilitating, but that it still sometimes it gets to you where it can have an effect on your day. It can definitely have an effect on, you know, some of you may have doubts. So if you've been doing something in your life where you've been having a lot of doubt or discouragement or anxiety around, even if these areas of life improve, you could find that that still crops up from time to time. Again, it doesn't feel like it ruins your life, but like you might have these negative thoughts come up as you're trying to fall asleep at night, or they impact you sometimes. Like, this person, if we look at, see if I can get this a little closer, at these like pictures that this cat has on the wall. It's like, maybe they succeeded in their dream of like being a pop star and like having wonderful friends and like having accomplishments and love. And yet they still sometimes feel this way, because even when things work out in life, sometimes we still have underlying issues to deal with. So what I think this is trying to tell you, and that your future self is trying to tell you, is that things are going to change. A lot of things are going to be really wonderful. Like, I can already see that things that you've been dreaming of and wanting to happen are going to happen. But that doesn't mean magically it is going to remove all of your anxieties or your doubts or even your insecurities. They are probably going to change, but they're still going to crop up from time to time unless you deal with those underlying issues. So if you think like, oh, once I have success, I'm not going to be anxious anymore because I'll be validated because all these people will say I'm amazing. That might be the case, but there's an underlying issue there. So basically, I won't keep going, but your future self wants to tell you that there might be some underlying things that you also want to work on. And if it's anxiety, you might look into treatments for that. Keep that in mind. I just kind of wanted to start with that before we get to like happier things. And that makes me think a little bit about this page too. So, the page can be the youngest of the court cards. And so even though you could advance to the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, and you're like at the top of your game in some way in life, you could still have this feeling that you're still like a beginner or you're still a child in some way. And even though other people see you as maybe the King of Swords, there could be something here, either insecurities or just feeling like imposter syndrome or something. So even though you could be finding success in parts of your life, there may be a feeling that you still need to deal with around feeling like an imposter or feeling less good than other people. But at the same time, we have the sun, which is like sunny and brilliant and makes me think that, and not that like everyone here wants to be like a pop star, but like there's something about being recognized for the things that you do. So if it is music for you, or if it's something else that your career or some place in life that you want to shine, or you're good at something, even though you may sometimes worry that you're not good and that like, you're not actually as good as people have told you or as good as you thought you were or something, you are good at something. So whatever you're good at, that is going to continue, and finding the joy for that is probably going to be really, really helpful for you. But basically the message sort of coming through here is that you are a shining star. You absolutely are. You are spectacular at something other people are not as good at, or you're good at it in a different, more unique way. And so there is some area of life that you are gifted. And basically, you doubt yourself, or because other people have instilled those messages within you. I don't know what it is, but even as you gain more success in this area, those doubts are still going to be lingering and hanging around. And so there may need to be more work done on those things. But basically, you're as good as you think you are at your best. Like when you believe in yourself, that's all true. The doubt actually isn't true, because what I can see here is that you really are good at something. And any doubt is false. Even with this Seven of Wands, this isn't what the card usually means, but I see you standing. It's like you're on a stage. And again, this can be metaphorical. Most of you are probably not going to be on a stage doing whatever you do. But this is you being seen. All these other people here, like these wands are being held by other people. You just can't see them because they're like in the audience. Do you know what I'm saying? And like you're holding court, and like you're who everyone is looking to and acknowledging and respecting. And again, that's not what the Seven of Wands normally means, but I'm reading intuitively as I do. And So there's just a lot here about kind of feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome, but I keep also being drawn to the hearts in this card. So we have this broken heart on the wall. We have this heart here on the headboard. We have this little heart here in the sun card. And so, and here, this could be like a couple's photo. So I think some of you have been dealing with some heartbreak or some issues with romantic relationships, and it might be like good and bad, back and forth, even when things are good. You might have heartbreak from the past that's still around. So there's something that more so than this stuff necessarily staying the same forever. Basically, the message that I'm receiving is that it may be time for you to, in addition to everything else that you do in life, address the deeper or more core issues around relationship and around your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, and imposter syndrome. Anything there that you are relating to, this is an indication that you might want to spend time delving into those things, because it will release this from being a part of your future. But if you are not dealing with those things, if you are stuck, these things will remain part of your future even when positive change comes. Okay. So it's not necessarily a warning so much as it is a little bit of advice, and we will get more advice later, but I want to move on over here to the left, where we look at what is coming in the future and what is changing for the better. And I don't want you to be scared by this Three of Swords, because a negative card, it's not always negative, but a quote unquote negative card in a positive question is always going to be positive. So let's take a look. Okay, so I want to start with these like quote unquote negative cards on the left here. We've got the Three of Swords and the Four of Cups. So what is likely to be changing for the better in the future for you is that these energies are going to change. So like I said, some of you have definitely been heartbroken, whether that is romantically or in other ways. I think for probably most of you, it's romantic in nature, and it could be that you have had your heart broken multiple times in multiple ways. And for many of you, probably 3 main relationships. So this could be 3 romantic relationships, 3 marriages. It could be like one of your parents when you were a kid. It could be, and then a romantic relationship, and then a close friendship. So for some of you, there are 3 big relationships that have really hurt, and that you may still be carrying around the pain. And here we have this hand offering this 4th cup. These are empty. They're all blue. This one's a golden yellow and it's filled up. But here you are thinking like, I don't want to deal with that again. I've dealt with these. They were all the same thing. Don't act like that's different. I don't believe it, but it's going to be different. So a positive thing that could be coming in is if you deal with your anxiety, your heartbreak, etc., and the things that have been disappointments for you, because this can also be about, you know, say you've tried to start your own business 3 different times and they all failed, and you're like, why should I do it again? A change is coming. You're not going to keep having failures either in romantic relationship or in any area that this relates to you. So the good thing is that the energy here is changing, especially if you dive into it a little bit, because while it says it's changing, it also still says it's the same. So again, you've got to put the effort in, but basically you're not going to still be, some of this is just in your head. And so it might remain in your head a little bit, even as a new, better opportunity comes your way. You may already start being discouraged before you even see if it works out, because you're like, I know how this goes. I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to end up hurt again, because you're still carrying around some pain from the things that happened before. And so some of what stays the same is this sort of fear of it going, that it is going to stay the same, but actually things are going to change for you. So if you have had really difficult relationships, then you're going to have the chance to have one that's actually going to be what you want. And that's not going to hurt you in those same ways. And if you've had failures, you're going to have a chance to accomplish what you really want to accomplish. And it may be hard because you're like, I don't want to do this again because I really don't want to go through that disappointment again. But your future self is trying to tell you to give it a chance. It's really time to give something a chance, because you could be and will be really, really happy. I mean, again, it's like, for some reason, like the metaphor or the vision I see for you guys is, basically being like a musician on stage. And I know that there is no way everyone in this group will have that be their situation, but it's just what I keep seeing. And it's the same with these cards, with the Six of Wands in the world, of being sort of seen, recognized, and acknowledged for the skills or the talents that you have, the things that you are either naturally good at or that you've learned to do well, and that you are going to be not only victorious in what you want to accomplish or where you want to be in life, but people are going to recognize you for these talents and love you for these talents and applaud you. You're going to be, and the world can often be about fame, whether that is worldwide and being like a household name, or just having a larger presence in the world where people in different countries know who you are or know your work or recognize you, and like where you may have been only known for what you do in a very, very small group of people, like just people or just the town you live in. You will find that in the future you are well known. You may not be a household name, that's probably unlikely for most of you, but like people will know you that you would have never expected to like know you or know your work. And so there's going to be a real sense of accomplishment here where things are really going to work out for you, and people are going to not only acknowledge you and like what you offer, but just love it and be lifted up by it and see you as really wonderful for what you have to offer. And the world is also about, reaching the end of a cycle in a positive way. So this isn't like, we see like the 10 of Swords, which is like sort of the end of the swords, where this figure is just lying on the ground with 10 swords in their back. And it's like, what a devastating end. But the world is like the most positive, fulfilling, satisfying end to something. And it doesn't mean that you're done doing what you love. It's that you've reached this point you've always wanted to reach, and it's satisfying, and you feel acknowledged and seen for it, and it's really beautiful. And the energy is really just big and positive and really cool. And I think you're going to be seen by a lot of eyes or heard by a lot of ears or something like that. So let's look at what your future self is grateful to you for and advice that your future self wants to give you. And then we will end with one more question. So for group 2, what does their future self want to say about what they're grateful for? Strength, the Star, the Six of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. Whoops. Okay. What advice does your future self want to give you now? The Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, cute, the Six of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Okay, let's organize these a bit. Okay, the first thing that I see with what your future self is grateful to you for is your dreams. So let me just adjust this crystal. Okay. I don't want to pick this up because I'm trying to cover this quote unquote nudity. your future self is grateful to you for having your dreams and being willing to pursue them, even though sometimes it has been hard, and having the strength to keep going. So because you have had failures and because things have not always worked out for you and you have had hope, the star is about hope also. And you've just continued to like put on a little smiley face to move forward and tackle things that feel hard and difficult, even when it hasn't worked out, because it is going to work out. And so your future self, you in the future, you're going to be really, really grateful for everything that you did go through, for having a dream, for continuing to have a dream, and that dream can be anything. It can even be for having the right relationship, whatever you have dreamed of and you have kept trying and you have kept finding hope for again and again, and you've had the strength to pick yourself up and try again, even when you've maybe gone through long periods of time where you just didn't try at all, you're going to be really, really grateful that you did, because one day all of this is going to work out for you. And the Six of Pentacles isn't really about this, but this seems like you here in this like silo of money, like you have so many riches here that you can easily share with other people. And again, there's this feeling of like you being like visible to other people and sharing something with them, and you're sharing riches with them, whether that is money or your art or your skills or your talents or your personality, whatever it is that you have, you're going to be able to abundantly share it with other people. And you've dreamed of doing this, and you've had this clarity around it at times that I think gets clouded by doubts and insecurities and maybe the negative things that people have said to you. Your future self, you in the future, you are really, really grateful for having these dreams, continuing to pursue them, moving toward them, having the strength to keep getting back up, having these visions of your future. And I really think in this case, this Queen of Swords is like a visionary. And again, that's not really the classic meaning of this card, but that's what I really feel with this queen, that they see their future. You see your future, what you really want. And sometimes it gets clouded. And then you have these moments of clarity, and you're meant to trust those moments. You're not meant to trust in the naysayers. You're not meant to trust in your negative thoughts or beliefs about yourself or about life. Anything that has been getting you down, any doubts you've been having, any insecurities, any anxieties, anything like that, that's not the truth here. So sometimes we can say, well, I'm anxious. Maybe that's my intuition telling me not to do this. And that might be the case sometimes. But what I'm telling you here, in this case, it is not. Those are in the way. There are clouds that need to be cleared out of the way and healed, because ultimately you are meant to do big things, whether that is on a global scale or they feel big to you because they are dreams you have always wanted to be seen and felt in reality, because that's what you're meant to have. And so your future self not only is encouraging you to continue, but you are one day going to feel incredibly grateful for the fact that you didn't give up, that you kept going even when it was hard, even when you had to take long breaks, even when you weren't sure you could believed in this or believed in yourself, because you're not meant to live a tiny little boring life, even if you're not meant to like stand on a stage and have people look at you. You are meant to fulfill these dreams that you have. They're not for nothing. And some of you have had these dreams for a really, really long time, and they are meant to manifest in reality. So don't give up, even if it takes longer than you would like it to, even if you wish it had happened 15 years ago and you don't even know why you're continuing to keep going. Don't give up, because one day you're going to be really, really grateful that you didn't. So let's look at any additional advice. I feel like there's already been a lot of advice in your reading, but what additional advice does your future self want to give you at this time? Well, yet again, we have a don't give up card. I mean, the Eight of Pentacles doesn't always mean that, but okay, this particular Eight of Pentacles, like what a cute card. Let me make sure you can see it. this little tattoo artist here has worked on their craft. And, look at these 8 different pentacles. And so this craft has been perfected, and this client here is happy with the work done. And so some of the advice is don't give up, keep going. Like we said, keep perfecting your craft or your dream or yourself, whatever it is that is going to get you to where you want to go. Keep going, even if it takes a lot longer than you expected it to. Even if you thought you were just going to tattoo this one little pentacle with the star, and then you find out this person wants, I want a second one, a third, and a fourth. It's like, you didn't expect it to be this much work. You didn't expect to have to wait this long or wade through this many failures or this many people. Whatever it is for you, it wasn't what you expected, and yet you're being advised to continue because you're almost there. The 8 is so close to the end. Not quite at the end, but really getting there. It's, you're getting to this place. And also because there are pentacles here, if this revolves at all around making money or having an income for you, this is a positive sign that is where this will lead, but don't give up on it. And the Knight of Pentacles talks about some similar things, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight, and he still takes action. He still moves, the knight still moves forward, but methodically, carefully, slowly. And while you may want to move very quickly, the advice is to, I heard slow down and smell the roses. Sorry, I had to cough. But that reminds me, I saw this woman on my walk recently. She was walking so fast, and I walk pretty fast, and she sped in front of me. Which is fine. And there was like one rose on a bush, and she was just walking, like speed walking. And then she like zoomed off the path to this rose on this bush and like gently bent down and smelled it for a moment, and then zoomed back to the path and like off. And I thought it was so cute and so funny because she was just hustling along, but she stopped and smelled the roses. And while you may want things to move more quickly than they have been, basically the advice is to enjoy what is happening now, because yes, when you get to where you want to go, there's going to be satisfaction and fulfillment and happiness and joy. Okay. But there are things right now. So if you're not already appreciating the little things, appreciating what's happening in your life right now, there is advice to do that, because, things change. Even when things change for the better, time changes things. And say you end up moving and leaving and being somewhere else one day, and you don't get to hang out with this person anymore because they live where you used to live. Like, enjoy your time with the people you're around right now, and enjoy what you have right now whilst you continue to work on moving forward, and allow the time it's going to take. Because I think at a certain point it's going to go like this, but there is some patience required at the moment, which I don't think anybody likes to hear. So I'm sorry to have to be the messenger of that, but you are going to be moving forward, and you are going to be moving into a place with more equal give and take, where you're not just putting out work where you don't receive anything in return, or you're not putting effort toward relationships where you're not receiving it in return, or like having a crush on someone who doesn't have it back. And like, you know what I mean? There's something about reciprocity that's going to come, and that change is going to come, but there's a little bit of a slowness here. And I feel like that's probably the last thing that you want to hear, because you want things now. We all want things now. Who wants to wait even longer when they've already waited long enough? But the advice here is to allow the time it's going to take, because you really don't have control over that at this moment. And that what you do have more control over is having the strength and the motivation to continue to reach your dream life, to not give up even when it seems like it is nowhere in sight, even when you have tried and failed 1,000 times, even when you have thought you found the love of your life 6 different times and it just never worked out. Whatever that is for you, keep going, because you're going to get there. As long as you just keep going. You don't even have to believe in yourself, but it would help you to believe in yourself. And it would help you right now to work on any underlying issues, because, with the Six of Swords, it's making me think too that like there's these issues below the water. You can't see them necessarily. It's subconscious. But if you work on the stuff that's subconscious, if you work through heartbreaks and disappointments and fear and anxiety and all of those things, it's going to shift the tides, basically, and the water will carry you where you need to go. Whatever is happening with the wind, whatever happening externally, when you adjust some of those internal things, it's really going to help lead you in the direction you want to go. It does seem like you're going to get there no matter what, but do you want to get there with anxiety or without it? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's up to you. But there's just look at this like little fish like trying to eat this cat's tail. Sorry, that's just so cute. So also like that just makes me think again, like stop and smell the roses, but not just smell the roses. Like stop and have a laugh with your friends or your sibling or the person that you run into at the grocery store. Like enjoy the little things, like watch things that make you laugh, read things that lift you up. There's a lot here about finding the little joys, because if you're too focused on getting here, it's not going to be as fun. It's probably going to take the same amount of time. But again, it's like you're going to be on this journey no matter what, as long as you don't give up. In addition to that, how do you want this journey to look? Do you want the journey to be a miserable slog through the mud until you get to success and then you'll enjoy life? Or do you want to enjoy life right now in the ways that you can and then enjoy it even more when things really work out for you? Basically, there's no right or wrong there. And if you don't have the energy to deal with your anxiety and it's just easier to like focus on getting something done, do what's right for you. But this is just what's coming through. And I think that, there's just a really happy future for you. And I think that for those of you who have struggled in relationship and who have really wanted it to work out, things are going to be a lot better for you. Look at these little two like kissy cups. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes I can't tell if it's on screen. It's like you go from not so happy to like happy and romantic, or like even if it's just relationships with like friends and you feel like you haven't had enough friends, like something here with relationships is going to be a lot more positive and your emotions are going to be a lot positive. So don't give up on the dream of that either. So I want to get your final message, which is what message your future self wants to leave you with. And we've got some oracle cards for that. So let me grab them. Okay, so group 2. We have tune in and connect, nonverbal communication, intuition, messages. Fire, the number 9, red fox. And we have chair filled, someone new is entering your life. And firecracker, excitement. Wow. Okay, I really like these. Okay, for some of you, this might be a really intuitive group. So some of you might identify with being very intuitive people who get gut feelings and may have intuitive dreams or may be tuned into your intuition. If you are not, though, this is an indication that your future self thinks that you will get a lot of benefit from getting more in tune with your intuition, and that you are going to receive intuitive messages if you do. You may already be someone that receives those, and it's making me think of that Queen of Swords card we had, where it's like you have these moments of clarity where you can really see and feel the future and your dreams and everything sort of working out in the way you want it to, because that's like true. That's what's going to happen as long as you continue on your path, and that your future self is basically coming through sometimes. Your future self, your higher self, your spirit guides, your passed on loved ones. These people or these beings are coming through to remind you of the truth and of the possible, and to help you to have faith and to keep going. And so this is an indication to be as in tune with your intuition as possible, and that when you get those clear messages, to believe them and to do your best to believe them over any doubts or fears that creep in, because that's the truth of it. And some of you could be telepathic. Some of you are just more tuned in, or you even might have like natural like medium abilities or something. So either way, whether you identify with having that or not, this is advice to tune in. But also, some of you have been very alone and very lonely, whether that's just in romantic relationship or in life in general. And so this can also be about, because we have this energy here about having someone in your life or multiple people in your life and having excitement with that. And so if you have, for example, found it easier to live with empty chairs because that's what you're used to, maybe you're even afraid to let people in anymore. Hold on, I have to cough. Okay, sorry. So basically, this is talking about opening yourself back up to connection, not only spiritual or intuitive connection or connection to yourself, but connection to other people. So, for those of you who have been alone in any way, and where that has, even if you haven't wanted that to be the case, it may have become very comfortable for you, and maybe even more so comfortable than allowing people into your life. There's going to come a time where you'll connect again with other people if you're open to it. And so being open to that connection without like trying to force it, it's going to be really positive for you, because it really looks like there are people coming into your life. I think for some of you, multiple. You also, for some of you, this could be about connecting with a spirit guide, for example. So you might find that your psychic abilities enhance and that you start to sense a presence that is helping you, or you might find yourself talking more to a spirit guide or an angel or a passed on loved one or an ancestor. And in that sense, like, someone new is entering your life, but like this person is like turned away. So it's like, makes me think for some of you, you can't necessarily, and like, look at this like sort of transparent face. You can't necessarily see this person. And so I think for some of you, a spiritual connection is coming in, and whether or not that's the case for you, there is also a physical connection, absolutely 100% coming in for you. So for those of you who are already, you have enough people in your life, you don't need anyone new, like you've got a great romantic relationship or you don't want one or whatever, there could still be someone coming in that you didn't expect, you didn't need, you didn't ask for, that will change your life and bring excitement into your life, that will feel like soul family or something like that, like a connection that feels twin-like maybe, or feels important, like you knew each other in another life or something like that. And for some of you, we talked a little bit about your heartbreak and like some of you not having things work out for you in relationship. And this talks about that definitely changing and definitely working out. So we have this fire energy, these roses, these two red foxes that look so similar, and there's so much like passion and excitement and growth. And so for some of you, you're absolutely going to have a partner who you have passion and love for, you feel companionship for. There's a playful quality here, an openness, an understanding of one another, and a joy of being together. And basically, there's just someone is going to bound into your life like a firecracker and bring something exciting in with them. So, this is a little bit different than some of the other messages we were getting, but your future self wants to leave you with the fact that like support is coming in, things that you have wanted are coming in, and they want you to be in tune with the messages you're receiving and to believe in yourself. So I think that's all I have for you today, group 2. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you feel like it. It is always such a joy for me to hear from anyone watching, so don't hesitate to leave a comment if you want to. Regardless, I am really grateful to spend this time with you, and I hope you have a great week. Bye. Hi, group 3. You chose the Pyrite and the Golden Thread Tarot. Welcome to your reading. We're doing a future self reading today, and I'll remind you what we're looking at as I shuffle these cards. So we're going to tune into your future self. You can choose a point in the future if you would like to, a month from now, 6 months from now, 10 years from now. You can. You don't have to, but that is an option. But we are going to tune into your future self and get some information about your future. So we're going to look at what's coming in and changing for the better, what might be staying the same, what your future self is grateful to you for, some advice that your future self would like to give you now, and finally, a message your future self would like to leave you with. Okay, so let's get started. So group number 3. What is coming in and changing for the better? Actually, you know what? For the last 2 groups, I ended up reading what might be staying the same first. So let's start with that. So for group 3, what might be staying the same at this point in the future? We have the Magician, the 3 of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. And what is coming in and changing for the better? The Devil, the 10 of Swords, the World. Let me just censor that. I mean, I feel like I probably don't need to. I'll just censor these, just in case. Okay, we'll just censor everybody's chests. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles. So before I read the cards, I keep feeling this frustration energy coming from you, kind of like annoyance, frustration, feeling annoyed at either how long things take or things keep going wrong, or like, I don't know, there's some anger, wanting to be done with something already. Okay, so of course, once I switched the questions, because in groups 1 and 2, on this side, I had what's coming in and changing for the better. And on this side, I had what might be staying the same. And I swapped it for you because in the other 2 groups, I ended up reading over here first and then moving over here. But yet again, I am drawn to reading over here first. But this is a different question than the other 2 groups. So let's begin with what's coming in and changing for the better. So we have this up top, the Devil and the 10 of Swords, not necessarily the most positive cards in the deck, especially the 10 of Swords. And then we come down here and we have the World and the 6 of Pentacles, much more positive energies. And both of these are major arcana, both of these are minor arcana. So that tells me that things are changing for the better in big and smaller ways, in more meaningful and less important ways. And where things have felt stuck and kept you bound and been painful physically, mentally, or emotionally, that energy is going to be shifting. So when we look at, I keep wanting to pick these cards up, but I'm censoring them, so it makes it hard to do. But when we look at the Devil and the World, and look at this as like a transformation, the Devil. So it is possible for some people here, there could be some reliance on substances or distractions or an unhealthy relationship or something that isn't good for you, but you're struggling to free yourself from it. Or it could be that you are in a job or a situation where there are people kind of in control of you that don't seem to actually care about your well-being. And so you feel sort of trapped for whatever reason, trapped in a job, trapped in a relationship, or you just feel like life overall has been hard on you and you've been trapped for a long time, unable to see your way out or to get to a place of feeling free. And then we have this 10 of Swords where it feels like so many things have gone wrong. All 10 of these swords have pierced this person. And if you can see it from there, this person's also cut in half and there's no sword even there. It's just like, and these like crossed out eyes of like, this person is still standing. Usually in the Ten of Swords, they are not. This person is still standing, and yet they've been injured to the point of death. So that tells me that you've really been through the ringer in multiple ways. It's like you have been betrayed over and over and over again. And I certainly wouldn't be surprised if this group has faced some betrayals, what with the Devil card here as well. Or you have been harmed in ways, like whether people have physically harmed you, emotionally harmed you, whatever it is, even if it's like not that bad, it's happened enough times that it's like death by 1,000 cuts, which I often see with the Ten of Swords, because sure, maybe one wouldn't have killed you, but 10 certainly is going to. And this group has not had it easy, not in the least. And this may have just been recently. For some of you, it's been your entire life or for a very long time. I get a long time energy for a lot of you. And so we go from this dark, heavy energy into this really light, positive, fulfilling, reciprocal, happy, harmonious energy. So basically, there's an acknowledgement here that you have been through it more so than many people have, or in ways that have harmed you because of how sensitive you are, or you've definitely felt both stuck and trapped, and controlled, and also like betrayed and harmed. These could be related, they could be separate things, but it's not great. And so that's being acknowledged. But beyond the acknowledgement of that, you are being told that the future is bright and that things are going to get better. You go from being under somebody else's power to being the power, to being in control, to being independent and self-sufficient and beautiful and protected and fulfilled. And you go from being wronged in perhaps very intense ways to actually being given to in really positive ways and sharing positive energy with other people. So this could be personal relationships. It could be work relationships. It could be anything. But I do think that you probably know that this is your group if you've really been through hard things and you've been wondering when the end to this is going to be. If you felt really stuck, really hurt, things are going to improve. And so your future self wants you to know that you're not destined to live this life of being controlled and harmed and stuck. And even if you think some of that has been your fault, you're not destined to live that way. And I also don't think it has been your fault. And, the Six of Pentacles, 6 is often a number of harmony. So harmony is coming into your life. Balance, reciprocity, equal give and take, sharing, positivity, being able to help other people in need or helping people you love, being open to and receptive of being helped and having people come in and support and love and help you. And, we have these scales in the Six of Pentacles. And so there's equality there. It makes me think of Libra and how much Libra cares about equal reciprocity and give and take. So that is on its way to you. That is certainly changing for the better. And so if you've been harmed by people time and time and time again, or maybe there has been one specific person that has harmed you or whatever it is, that is actually going to be changing in the future. And feeling trapped and stuck and under someone else's control is also going to change. And you're going to be able to live in a new cycle, because I think you've lived in this cycle for a long time of being controlled by people or circumstances or jobs. There are things or people that have kept you under their control. And, in this Devil card, these people are ghosts and they also have these crossed out eyes. And so it feels like what has been happening to you in your life has really drained you of like life essence and your zest for any kind of life and your hope. And I don't know, it's taken a lot out of you. It's taken energy. It's taken hope. It's just taken from you in ways that I think you are starting to or have felt for a long time very hopeless or very depressed or almost like dead inside, or like you've lost a big part of yourself, or you don't have the light or the life that other people have. It's something like that. And that's all coming back to you. And so you go from being this little controlled ghost to this powerful being surrounded by all of these tools. We have the magician here, so we'll talk about that. But the magician has all of these tools: the sword, the pentacle, the cup, the wand. And in this particular world card, this person also has the pentacle, the cup, the sword, the wand. So you will get to a place where you have everything you need. You feel free and able to have the power to decide your own fate. And there's just so much more power. You feel powerful in the future and able to control your own circumstances to a degree, make your own decisions, and sort of close this loop and protect yourself. I see this Ouroboros, these snakes eating each other, as protection around you. It's like you have protection around your energy, around your body, around your mind, around your ideas and your needs and your power. And so you go from this transparent little ghost who is controlled and unable to protect themselves to this powerful being who has strength and protection around them and who has everything they need. And the world is the end of a cycle in a really positive way. So you reach the point that you truthfully want to be at. And I think it's even better than you expect, because if your life has been really hard up until now, you may not even believe you're deserving of what you're truly deserving of. You may want better, know you deserve better, but what you actually deserve and where you're actually going to get is far and away better than you could have ever asked for or expected. And so if we look at what might be staying the same, there's actually a lot of really positive energy here. So even if things have been hard lately or for a long time, and maybe, what I've said is too dramatic, you're like, yeah, things are hard, but it's not that bad. That's fine. This might still be your reading, but there is a lot of positive energy with you already, because these are the things that are going to be staying with you. So one thing, the magician, is your ability to make decisions for yourself. You may feel unable to do that right now, but you have that ability. You may not be as controlled as you think you are, or you have the ability to walk away from that which does control you, and you have everything you need to do so. That's what I see. And you just need to be lit by this fire and remember who you truly are, and that you don't have to go along with the river that these other people or conditions in your life are trying to take you on. This is, the magician and the world are giving me similar energies of having power, having the tools you need, being able to make your own decisions and protect yourself. And not that you have to be alone. Just because these figures are alone doesn't mean that you will be, but that you are no longer controlled. So there is a part of you that is very already powerful, very strong, that has all these tools already to make your own decisions and to get to where you need to go. And that's not only going to remain with you, but become a stronger part of your experience. And the Three of Wands is making me think that you have planning ability. So whether or not you think of yourself as a planner or someone who is organized, you do seem to have some of those qualities, and I do think it might help you to release yourself from that which has kept you bound. And again, this figure stands powerfully, hands on hips, knowing what they want, knowing where they're going to go, or at least having a plan to get there. And it's like this Three of Wands is like on this like castle top, and it makes me think that there could be like army or groups like swarming the castle, but this person isn't even paying attention to it. It's like, nope, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to decide how I'm going to defend myself or get out of here. Or maybe I'm not going to defend myself and I'm just going to plan my escape, because I think some of you do need to plan a bit of an escape, whether it is a dramatic situation or not. And so you have the ability to do that now. That's part of what is coming through. But also that ability is also, I think, going to get strengthened over time, because when you are able to escape negative situations, whether they are big or small, your power will grow, your belief in yourself will grow, and your understanding that things are more up to you than you realized will also grow. And the three of wands, 3 is often a number of communication. And so I think if you haven't spoken up for yourself in the past, it's time to use your voice, because you have a voice already. And that voice is going to remain with you and get stronger, especially if you practice it. And if you have, say you're in an unhealthy relationship and you have spoken up and things are not changing, then leave. If your voice isn't working to change things, then walk away, because I think there is escape energy here. And so whatever you've dealt with in the past, it's time to end those cycles, because future you lives in this wonderful, happy place and has a voice and has the ability to manifest. And you already have these abilities. So basically, a lot of the message is like, it's not even just really about what's staying the same. It's about what you already have. And you may have forgotten you have, or people have made you believe that you don't have a voice, or your voice isn't important, or you don't have what it takes to do what you want to do or to get out of a situation. And you have all of this. You have, with this King of Swords, you have clarity. You know what's right and wrong. You know what's right and wrong for you. And this King of Swords holds this little world, and we have the world here. You hold your future in your hands, your positive, happy, joyful, powerful future. It's in your hands. And this King of Swords wears this armor of protection. It's not armor to keep people out. Well, maybe some people, but it's armor of protection to be clear-minded and allow who is right for you to be in your vicinity, to allow the conditions that are right for you to be in your world, and to grow with this Ace of Pentacles, the things that you want. So again, these qualities are already within you, and you may know that, or you may have forgotten, and it's time to sort of unearth them and brush away the dirt and the clouds and whatever else has gotten in the way of your clarity, because you know what's right and wrong. And feeling stuck and feeling hurt, those are not good things. So, for example, if you are in an unhealthy relationship with someone and you're blaming yourself because they keep blaming you for things, or twisting your words, or deflecting, or whatever it is that emotionally unhealthy people are prone to doing to the people that they supposedly love. If that's happening to you and you're like, okay, maybe it's me, maybe I didn't need to do something differently. No, it's time to instead focus on yourself. Focus on the fact that whatever's happening in this relationship, regardless of whose fault it is harming you. Then you can get clarity, protect yourself, and move toward growth and abundance and things working out for you and a new beginning. I'm not saying that everyone here is in an unhealthy relationship, but whatever is going on for you, or just feeling stuck in a job that feels like a dead end place to be, you might feel like you have to stay there because you don't want to let your boss down by leaving, or you don't want to leave your favorite coworker, or it's a steady income and you don't know what you're going to do if you leave. And I'm not saying quit a job without income. Okay. I'm not giving you that advice at all, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in a situation where you feel stuck, you may not be as stuck as you think. And actually you're not as stuck as you think. And it's time to remember who you really are, to get in touch with your own innate internal power and strength and talent and clarity, and to remember what you actually want in life, to remember, even if you don't know what to do or what step to take moving forward, it's still time to get in touch with all of those wonderful qualities of yourself, and don't let anyone or anything dampen them any longer. Do not believe any of that, because I see you as a powerful, beautiful being with the ability to do more than you ever thought possible. And you're not meant to wither away in a stupid job that doesn't pay you what you're worth. You're not meant to wither away and have your physical health destroyed because a person in your life is slowly killing you with their toxic behaviors. Do you know what I'm saying? It can be something else. This isn't what your life is meant to be, and you know that. So things are going to change for the better for you. And really right now, it's about getting in touch with all of your wonderful power and ability and personality and everything. I think that for some reason, people have really gotten in your head and changed your own vision of yourself, your own opinions of yourself, or you've been somehow taught by the things that have happened to you that life is not worth living, or life is not that fun and it's always going to kind of be like this. That's not true. And it's certainly not true for you. And so your future self is coming through to remind you that this isn't the end. What is going to be the end is these old cycles that have kept you bound to things that are not for you and that are not right and that don't feel good, because it is very possible, and in fact, your birthright, to live a life that is joyful, at least in moments, that is colorful and vibrant and healthy, and where you are loved and you give and receive love and you feel excitement about the things that happen in life, and that you get to make your own decisions, and that it's not just all happening to you. I hope that that is clear. So let's look at what your future self is grateful to you for, and some advice from your future self that they want to give you now. And then we'll get a final message after that. Okay, for group 3, what is their future self? Oops, that's too many cards. What is their future self grateful to them for? All right, we'll take them. Okay, so we've got the Chariot Nine of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Emperor. Great. And can we get some advice from Group 3's future self for right now? Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles, as well as the Four of Cups. Ace of Wands. Justice. Okay. So one thing that your future self is grateful to you for with this Chariot card is continuing to keep going, even when it has been fruitless, difficult, not fun, not easy, and to have like some hope that it would get better. And, you know, because the fact that you've continued to keep going, that you're still here and you're still doing what you're doing, whether it feels good or bad, means that you are going to get to a happier, easier future, especially if you tap into your power and the things that make you who you are. And while the Nine of Swords is often about anxiety or difficult sleep, this Nine of Swords speaks to me of, it reminds me a little bit of that 10 of Swords we had with all of those swords in your body. You've dealt with either far more than the average person, and even if you haven't, you've dealt with far more than you needed to, unhappy, unpleasant things, even if it feels dramatic to say that. Because even if it's like, okay, I haven't had a lot of people harm me and I just have like an icky job I don't like, that's okay. Whatever it's been for you, it's been too much. It's been way too much. And you've had to deal with this for far too long. And it feels like it's just never ending. And it pierces you, affects you. It seems to affect your physical health. It certainly affects your emotional health. With the swords, it affects your mental health. Every part of you has been affected by the negative things that have happened to you. And so your future self is grateful to you for having weathered all of these storms so that you can be happy one day, and that because you didn't give up, you're able to get to the place you've always meant to be. And, when we're in a different future, when it's like we think back, 5 years ago, that was really hard. I don't know how I did it, but thank God I got through it because now I'm so much happier. It's that kind of thing of like, thank you for going through that because I'm here now. We're here together living a better life, and it wasn't fair. None of it was okay. But because you did it, we get to enjoy a better life. And even though you're going through the hard things at the present and the future, and when we talk about the future you, it can sound like somebody else gets to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Cool. But it's you. As long as you're able to power through and get there, it's not hopeless. And I get a lot of that same energy with the Queen of Swords and the Emperor. It's giving me like strength energy. So it's making me think about the Strength card and how you have had so much strength in the face of adversity and the face of things going wrong and people harming you. And you have still managed to continue and to improve yourself, even if you feel like you're the little ghost from that Devil card. I think the core of you is really, really strong, really, really powerful, and that everything else is just in the way of that. That's the truth of you. That's the truth of who you are. Having clarity, having power. The Emperor is powerful. The Emperor gets to make the decisions. The Emperor is in control. And your future self is just really grateful for that strength that you have within you because it's going to get you to where you want to go. So let's look at some advice that your future self wants to give you now, because it definitely feels like you've been going through hard times. So let's get you some advice. Well, with the Four of Cups, and we got this in another group as well. Often in the Four of Cups, we have this person with these 3 cups in the foreground and then being offered another cup here. Usually the Four of Cups is like, I don't even want to bother. It's always the same thing anyway. Like, I don't want to try again because I've failed this many times, or relationships have gone this way for me every single time. It's this discouraging feeling. And so one piece of the advice is to, as much as you can, release the discouragement and the doubt and the feeling that like it's never going to get better, because it actually is. And so open yourself even just a little bit to the possibility and the fact that things are going to be getting better. And while you haven't deserved what you've gone through and it doesn't make sense right now, eventually it will, and things will work out a little bit better. And also, like, she looks like a nun to me. And then this is like coming down from on high, the sky, the spiritual realm. And so I think that if you are at all a spiritual person, a religious person, someone open to the unknown, this is also advice to open up to that even more, to open up to help from on high, help from angels, help from spirit guides, help from passed on loved ones or ancestors, or things that you don't understand and you don't have names for, but like sometimes it seems like other energies are out there that can help you. Open yourself up to that. And if you are open to this, you're advised to pray, to ask for help, to try to tune into those energies and keep asking even when it feels like it doesn't come right away. And if you don't want to do that, if that's not comfortable for you, you certainly don't have to. But for some of you, there is advice around that. And that also, with 4 being a number of stability, allowing spiritual help in whatever way that is for you would help bring a sense of stability so that you're walking on 4 legs instead of 3, or 2 legs instead of 1, I guess, as a person. I don't know why I said 4, but yeah, it's like it brings stability to your life. This Ace of Wands really makes me think about hope. The advice is to return to that seed of hope within you, the flame within you, that things can get better, that it's not all meant to be this bad, that if you push forward, it's not going to be like this until the end of your life, that there is a chance. And this is the power within you. Again, this flame of power that's within you. Find that core of you that is strong, that has a will and is willful and doesn't listen to what people say and doesn't care and is a rebel. Find the part of you that is a rebel and that is willing to make waves and willing to change the course of your life, change the course of other people's lives, and not give in. This is advice to speak up, to tell people what is right and wrong, to be in touch with what feels right and wrong for you and be unafraid to express it and be unafraid to burn a bridge down. Take this torch and light a bridge you don't want to cross anymore. And with the Justice card, which is a card of truth and fairness, find the truth, your truth, and live by it. Stop living by other people's truths. I do feel like for some of you, you have been gaslit, whether by a company, a boss, a romantic partner, a friend, a parent. I don't know who it is, but someone's been gaslighting you. And maybe it happened a long time ago. Maybe it's happening right now, or it has been for a long time. But someone has been altering your sense of truth, and I don't like it. And so there is advice here to get in touch with what is actually true, what is objectively true, and what is true for you, and what you need, to feel balanced, safe, secure, harmonious, and also if you are dealing with an unhealthy partnership, this is about having a healthy partnership, that you are meant to have healthy partners in life. A life partner, a romantic partner, a business partner, whoever it is. This is meant for you. You are meant to have this equality. And so the advice is about finding that. And if you are not experiencing that right now, it's time to learn to walk away, to escape, to find a new way, to move toward something else. And again, there's another message about like the spiritual realm being your partner in this. So some of you are probably open to that, but like allowing spirit, God, energy, angels, whatever it is, letting it in to assist you and to help you move forward and gain clarity with this sword. You're meant to live a life that has more clarity. And like I said, if someone has been gaslighting you or messing with your reality, twisting events, lying to you, omitting things, I don't care what it is. If someone's been doing any of that to you, it is time to break free from that and be very, very, very clear about the truth and the truth for you. Even if you're unsure right now and you think, well, maybe they're right, maybe this, maybe that, then it's time to sort things out and get clear within, even if you don't express it to them and you just leave. But there's some situation for you guys that you're meant to leave. And then this gate, this 9 of Pentacles here, will open for you. And the 9 of Pentacles is luxury. It's abundance. It's prosperity. It's growth. It's things being the way you want them to be. It's your surroundings being beautiful. And that can be, your physical surroundings, like your home, the clothes you wear, but it can also just be your external circumstances, whatever they are, the place that you work, the people that you spend time with, the places that you walk around or shop, anything. You're meant to have this 9 of Pentacles. And so to basically unlock this gate and walk into it and live in this beautiful life that is fully yours and you're deserving of, it's time to get really, really clear. Again, your power is really important. So you might spend some time thinking about power and what that means and what healthy power means and what it means to have healthy individual power and to have power over your circumstances, because you're meant to feel loved, cared for, happy, prosperous, and that is your right. So I want to get a final message that your future self wants to leave you with. We've got oracle cards for that. So let me put these away. We will grab those and we will finish this up for you. Okay. Okay, group 3. So we have enjoy new beginnings, celebrate, socialize, change. Okay, that's great. I love it. We've got spirit, the number 1, dragon. Great. We have marriage and lily, spiritual love. Great. Oh, okay. Lovely. Lovely. Okay. Well, let's start here. For some of you, well, how do I want to start? Okay, let's start on the left. So, regardless of your situation, it seems like I said, for a long time, you have lived in situations that are unfair to you, that have made you feel not fully alive. And this is, winter. This is a winter scene where you're kind of stuck inside your house. It's cold. It's dark. It's not going to change for a while. And yet we have enjoy new beginnings. We have this movement forward, celebrating, socializing, change. So you may have been in a long winter season of your life. It feels dark. It feels cold. It's depressing. You can't see your way forward. You feel stuck. You feel like you have no control over your circumstances, and that is going to change. So this is just another indication that you are not going to be stuck in this for the rest of your life or forever, and that it's already shifting. The shifting is already happening. And, like the way this horse is moving forward and then this dragon, they kind of look like each other, but it's like you morph from being this horse to this dragon. And it's like you're carrying people around. You're doing what this knight wants you to do. You're kind of like doing what you have to do. I mean, this horse looks happy, but then like you're here alone getting to make your own decision. You're walking out of this cold winter that you don't want to be in anymore. And now you're like going into this beautiful castle with things to do and books to read and things that make you you, and you get to be yourself. And you're not, I'm not saying you are a dragon, but like if you're a dragon and someone's forcing you to be a horse, you're not going to live a very happy life, are you? So you're being forced into a role that is not right for you. And so what's going to happen is that you get to live a life that is more you, more aligned with who you are, more free, and you have more choice. And we have this marriage and lily spiritual love cards, but also we have these candles here. This candelabra has these pink candles, which makes me think about a love spell. And so for some of you who have been in an unhealthy relationship, or you have had unhealthy relationships in the past, or you have been hoping for love, this is a huge indication that it is absolutely 100% coming your way and meant for you. And not only happy, healthy love, but a committed, long-term spiritual love that feels like everything you could have wanted. And again, it feels like more than you wanted, more than you expected. And there's a lot of love, a whole lot of love. And if you are in a happy relationship and there have just been other things going wrong, this is still an indication that will remain happy. But the more you are yourself, the better it gets. And also, marriage is not only about a love relationship. It can also be about commitment to a job, a career, like something. Wherever you've been unhappy or stuck, you're moving away from this into a place that is more right for you, a place you want to commit to, that you don't feel you commit to because they want you to and you have to, but because it feels so right. So Group 3, I love you so much. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here. If this was helpful for you, don't forget to like the video if you feel like it. I do love hearing from people. If you would like to leave a comment, regardless, you do not have to do that. I am grateful to spend this time with you no matter what. And I hope you have a wonderful week and that things work out for you so easily and so quickly. And I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.